Hey. Today, I'm gonna keep it real and make something that's going bad. I don't wanna waste it. I can't be the only one that has this issue. I gotta cook it today. I gotta eat it tonight or tomorrow. I love a good special. Whether or not I want something else, I'm gonna have to make this. So join me while I create an amazing, simple vegetable dish out of veggies that are going bad. Not that exciting of a topic, but it's a real one. Let's start off with this cauliflower. This isn't actually looking too bad at all. It's been in the fridge probably a good 4 days, and I know I could get a few more days out of it. So we're gonna start by prepping all the vegetables, just to make it easy on myself and then hopefully make it easier for you to follow. I always like to have a baking sheet with a parchment paper lined, just to collect all the veggies. So I can lay everything out in front of me and know exactly what I'm working with. Just gonna cut it into 4s. That's it. Just gonna put them right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cloves of garlic I'm gonna use. I'll just keep that with the cauliflower. This red pepper has seen better days. It's probably, I don't even remember when I bought it. It's not bad though, there's no mold or anything, but I do need to use it because it's starting to get a little bit extra wrinkly on it. There's so many different ways to cut the pepper because chefs do it so many different ways. This one I'm gonna take out the middle. And all I'm gonna do, I was always taught to remove this white part. Whether it matters to you or not, it doesn't, it's up to you. But for me, I have to do it because I was taught to do it. And it's just one of those things that I just can't get away from. So I just carefully take it off. Some people say it's bitter. You know, in the nicer restaurants, you'll never see the white part. Some people just don't care. That's all I'm gonna discard for that. I try to keep these to like maybe 1 inch julienne. So julienne means just slice super thin. We'll just start doing that. Next up, broccoli. Here we go. This has seen better days. Got some yellow in the tips. It looks like early autumn as far as how it's looking, but it's perfectly good. And I did get a special on broccoli, so I bought a bunch of it. This is the last to have to use it up. Only thing I'm not gonna use is this, maybe like 1 inch from the bottom. Just that little bit. From here, the way I like to trim it, it's kind of like if you flipped a tree upside down and then removing the branches. And when I get down to the bottom, just trim it off like that. And then when I get to the stem part, and just take a little bit off of the edge, just the skin that might be a little bit tough, that you don't want to chew, not too much, just a little bit. So that is about the only waste I'm going to get from the outside. Slice it into little medallions. The florets, I'm just going to slice the stems off a little bit and then cut in half. And you could probably pick it apart at this point because I'm looking for bite-sized pieces. Nothing really bigger than this. And then just do that with the rest of them. Do it once over just to make sure that they're all the same size or similar, roughly. And they're gonna join their friends. But that's it on any veg prep. Once you have the mise en place done like that, we'll start the cooking. First thing I'm gonna do is add the cauliflower with the garlic, and I'm gonna add roughly about 1 cup or 2 of water. I'm gonna crank that heat up. You can add a pinch of salt and cover it. For the broccoli, I'm gonna use hot water from my kettle. I'm gonna grab a bowl. I messed up. I need a bigger bowl. So I'm gonna use this big bowl, all the broccoli. Done. Just gonna add this right to it. All of it. And this is just gonna blanch my broccoli. I actually love this part because this is where the alchemy starts to happen. Start to see the broccoli transform, the bright colors start to pop. It really doesn't take long at all. Love it. There's something super sexy about eating like vibrant green vegetables. I just freaking love it. Such a comfort to me. So I'll let that broccoli sit for about 5 minutes and then I'm just gonna strain it off. So that is gonna be our prepped broccoli. That's ready to go. Got some of these at the store. They had a special on these. They're like lavash. They're really long breads here. You could use thick pita bread. You could use pre-made pizza crust. You could use pizza dough. I just don't have the time, nor do I want to make pizza dough right now. I knew I had to use up the broccoli and a couple of the other things, and I just want to make some really comfort, like garlicky white pizza. Cauliflower starting to boil. See the steam's coming. After the broccoli's been sitting a couple minutes, just strain that out. Guess who came back from her play date? It's America, Frankie, you're back. Want your treat, Franks? Hold on. Frankie loves her treats. She loves her peanut butter Kong that I'm making. Girl, you're such a good girl. I need a kiss first. Give me a kiss. Oh, give me another one. Oh, I love you. Here you go. Go in peace. Okay, once the dog's happy, now we'll check on the cauliflower. And I just want to make sure it breaks apart easy, which it is now. So perfect. And there's still a little bit of liquid in there. Perfect. I'm gonna break out the big guns for this. You're gonna probably want to use a blender for this. You don't have to use a high-speed motorboat one like this, but you want to have, at least I want to have the sauce smoother. If I didn't have a blender, I'd just spend some time mashing it with the masher and really whisking it up and whipping it up together. It can be done that way as well. Cauliflowers, I just pick these up for safety's sake because they're really hot. I'm just gonna put them in here, the bigger chunks. And then I will add the rest. So from here, we can make this several different ways. I can make it super healthy. We can do it no oil. You can add oil. You can add plant-based butter. So many different methods. And I'll share some in the future, different ways that I make it. It just depends on my mood, who's coming over for dinner, or if I'm just feeding myself. It depends on a lot of things, the way I make it, how healthy I make it. If I want it just super indulgent. So this one, I'm gonna do a cross between the two. Kind of healthy, but I want a little bit indulgent. Nutritional yeast, about 1 cup. About a teaspoon of black pepper. This part right here is totally optional. So what I did was I had a 150-gram bag of the shredded vegan cheese, whatever kind is in your country that you like. I've mentioned so many times that vegan cheeses out there are hit or miss. I can guarantee they taste good if you put them in something like this sauce, and it just adds that layer of like decadence and texture. About 3/4 of it I'm gonna add right to this. And then I'm just gonna blend it. Start off low, go to high. I want to make sure that this is really as thick as possible, but not too runny. I need it to be a thick sauce, not a runny soup. Just blend it till it's smooth. There you go. Frankie loves the vegan cheese. She loves it. Can taste it. Yum. Very nice. And this sauce is delicious. It really is. And it's super simple to make, which is good. And the garlic and the nooch, really simple ingredients. It's really good. You can add all kinds of seasonings and spices. It's just a good way, if you have kids, to get extra vegetables in, making these like garlicky white pizzas that I'm gonna do. If you have picky adults, it's a good way to get more veg in. And I believe we could all use a little bit more veg. I'm just gonna let this sit for a minute. It'll last for 3, 4, 5 days. I see a lot in the comments of like, oh, how long does that last? You know the shelf life of things in your refrigerator. If you make something, I usually won't eat it after the 3rd or 4th day as far as a leftover goes. But if you make this sauce right here and I let it cool down, store it in an airtight container, it'll last 4 or 5 days. If you did freeze it, I would thaw it out and then reblend it because the liquid might separate, the water might separate a little bit. It's a good sauce for home use or restaurant. And this sauce could also be for pasta, carbonara base, or mac and cheese, whatever you would like. It's just a really good decadent white sauce. And I didn't add any oil to this, but I did add the vegan cheese. You could add a little bit of olive oil to this. You could add some plant-based butter. Whatever you want to do. As long as it's veg-based, we're all good. All right, I'm gonna crank this oven up to 200 degrees Celsius. That's 400 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm gonna use 2 baking sheets. And I got the lavash or the bread, whatever you want to call it, but check these out. It's awesome. And because I know they won't fit with the pan, it's too big, I'm gonna cut them in half. Cut right down the middle of the fold. Easy enough. 2 on each. We have all our mise en place, everything's done. We have the broccoli cooked off. I have the roasted, the red peppers. You could use roasted red peppers if you want in a jar or whatever. I've roasted them ahead of time, but I have the red peppers sliced. I have the little bit of vegan cheese here that we left over from the sauce. I have that delicious garlicky white sauce. And then if you remember, the last video I posted was the tempeh tofu Italian sausage. I am gonna be using that. Just sharing another way that you could actually use it. Ugh. If you've been watching me for a little while, you probably figure out I cook a lot of food. I cook for like a family of 4 to 6 all the time. And I give a lot of this to my neighbors. Or I just save it for leftovers for me to eat throughout the day so I don't have, like meal prep kind of things. I just never got into the whole meal prep. I just make it and there's a lot of leftovers. But nobody ever says, this is my leftover video. They call it meal prep, whatever. It's easy for me to make a lot. I'm used to working in catering companies and restaurants and just cooking a lot. And this recipe right here, the sauces and the principles of it, they're made for home use. I would love it if more chefs used the ideas for restaurant use and just up their game with the whole plant-based vegan offerings. Because when I go out to eat, I always want to have a good option. And I'm trying to share this. So if you know any chefs who need some ideas, they don't have to copy it ingredient for ingredient. They can make it their own. Most people just need to see the idea and they got it. So no big real rants from me on this one today, but I did want to say that right now, I don't know when you're watching it, but right now it's the holiday season. And I know there's a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, all leading up to it. It's a lot for a lot of people. So if you know somebody who maybe needs to have a chat, have a talk, give them a call, have them over, just be kind. You know, my biggest single message in all of my videos, especially at the end if you watch to the very end, is always to be kind and to thank you for that. It's really important that we're kind. That oven's preheated. I want a fair amount on here. Not too much, just like you're making pizza. Maybe don't get it over the edges. I'm such a bozo sometimes where I get so into the cooking, I forget to turn the camera on. So I made these 2. Thank God I have 2 more to show you. There's maybe a couple spoonfuls left. I'll just save that. Maybe dip some garlic bread in it later or something. Vegan cheese on this first layer. Just a little sprinkle. And then the broccoli. And then I do the red pepper. And then the sausage. 4 pizzas. Just gonna pop these in the oven. Sweetheart, darling, Siri, please set the timer for 15 minutes. It is time. Awesome. Fantastic. Look at that. That looks awesome. Excited to eat these. I love it when a plan comes together. Yum. Wow. I'm so happy with this. Of course, baby, I got that crust for you. There you go. Oh, so cute. Chew it up. This is so freaking good. All right, this is absolutely fantastic. 11 out of 10, right here. It's so freaking good. What makes it an 11 is that hot Italian tempeh sausage. If you haven't seen that video, I just posted it. I'll link it at the end of the video and in the description because it's worth the effort just to have that bit because it's so delicious. It'll be a 9 out of 10 if you just do the broccoli and the peppers, add onion, whatever you want to put on it. The sauce is key. It's so good. That sauce is super creamy, garlicky, but not overpowering because we did 4 of these pizzas with the crunch of the broccoli and the bell pepper. I mean, it's so good. You could add onion. I like to keep it not too many ingredients on top of a pizza. At least that's what I learned, no more than 3. That sausage though, it puts it over the top. It would go well in any pizzeria and any restaurant. There you go. There's a free one for the holidays. Come, let's finish this up. Sit over here. Sit down. Oh, give me a kiss. Give me another one. Right on the lips. If you guys like this video, check out these videos over here. I'll link the sausage recipe. Have an amazing day. I hope you get to make this because it is really easy to use up veg that may be on the turning side. It doesn't matter what kind, whether it's going bad or it's freaking amazing. This dish is fantastic and you're gonna love it.